please tell our audience your name?
Are you kidding me? Everybody knows who I am. But if I must, it's Kim Jung-un. That's with a K. But you can call me Young Master, Great Successor, Outstanding Leader, or my favorite, Lil Kim.
Okay then, Mr. Jong-un. Can you please explain to us the techniques common to most dictators? Is it true that modern dictators tend to be very charismatic individuals who rally the people to support the ideology of a single party?
Oh yes, I agree with that statement, especially the charismatic part. Look at that handsome devil up there.
Is it also true that dictators have absolute power over their state and usually do not come to power through free constitutional elections?
Once again, an accurate statement. Lucky for me, I inherited my position as I am part of the Pi 2 bloodline. Oh, look, there's my father and grandfather.
Is it true that once in power, dictators typically do not call themselves dictators, but instead choose to refer to themselves as presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, or monarchs?
Ah, too formal for me. I'll just stick with Supreme Leader.
Is it also true that one thing all dictators have in common is that they were able to maintain political power by using violence and propaganda?
I have no idea where you heard that. Did you talk to my late uncle? Or have you seen something on social media?
Is it true that dictators often manufacture an external threat in order to gain control over the state and appear as people's only salvation?
Did someone say we were under threat? Was that from the West? Well, let me assure you that sometimes I like to just blow off a little steam by setting off a few fireworks in the backyard. I call them my special nukes.
Is it true that dictators also use their leadership skills to persuade the masses to believe their agendas? They use censorship to control the flow of information so as to maintain power?
Well, no one has ever complained about seeing me on television or not being able to have Wi-Fi connection, and I am sure they enjoy the historical and modern news that I allow them to find out about.
Is it true that some dictators use cruel and oppressive rule to violate human rights and maintain power by jailing and executing their opponents? Military force or political deceit, and systematically limit or deny basic civil liberties?
Well, how else are they going to remain in power? I myself embrace my people and hope that a bear hug will neutralize them. See? There you go. You have no images of such things.
So let's get off the topic, and maybe you could tell us how your rise to power was achieved.
Well, my legitimacy as supreme leader derives from the Pi 2 bloodline, a lineage that goes all the way back to 1930.
Aw, you look cute as a child.
What? Wait, that's not me.
Oops, sorry. Moving on.
I was born in 1983. Some would say I was favored by my father. He would take me along on military inspections to get me familiar with my state affairs. Although I did like sports a little more, especially basketball, but we will get to that a little later. Around 2009, I believe I was being groomed by my father and was appointed to a mid-level position in the National Defense Commission, which in my country, it's the highest office. I was also made the head of State Security Department, and in 2010, I became a 4-star general. Not to brag, but I was then appointed vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, and then I entered the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. But then everything changed. Once my father passed away, I was appointed the first secretary of the Korean Workers' Party, taking over my father's responsibilities, and then was elected the chairman of the National Defense Commission at the 12th Supreme People's Assembly. Being the guy that I am, you know how some of my enemies describe me as a mentally unstable sociopath. I have done what I needed to do. I got rid of a few people along the way. I overthrew the chief of general staff who had been grooming me, and I assumed the title of marshal, thereby taking complete control of both political and military power.
We just touched a little on your career, so let us talk about some of the organizations you belong to or have created.
My life is pretty private. I only let the world know what I need them to know. So, it has been said that I set up a secret organization referred to as the Military Government Guidance Department, with the intent of reining in military corruption. I cannot confirm or deny this. But if it is true, it grants enough power to monitor even the heads of the North Korean Military General Political Bureau and other core commands, and has the authority to observe the private lives of military officers as high as the rank of general. I have also accelerated North Korea's nuclear weapons program.
Next question. Mr. Jung, we have a couple of questions left. What type of methods do you use to maintain your power?
Oh, that's an easy one. Everyone just loves me. What is this?
Oh, wrong picture.
It is the Kim lineage that keeps me in power. Oh, and complete isolation from the West influences, as that could expose my people to change, and they might think about democratic elections. That could dispose of my family and the Workers' Party of North Korea. I also keep a tight grip on the military in the country, stringent control of the political party, and managing the media, and who can gain access to it. I started by changing up the powerful military by purging hundreds of top brass, including my powerful uncle. I transformed the North Korean economy by seizing collectivization and allowing the marketplace to thrive. The famines that claimed some 500,000 lives between 1993 and 2000 are no more, and I turned a fledgling nuclear program into President Donald Trump's top foreign policy problem. My regime has managed to turn North Korea's many weaknesses, poverty, hunger, insecurity, corruption, into not just strengths, but pillars of stability. Dictators are able to spread fear among their people and place themselves as their own salvation, manufacturing an external threat, which for me is the entire West. Helps keep the society off balance and collectively paranoid as well. Dictators also exploit a well-known instinct from most people to seek protection from a strong leader. The people who bonded with the leader survive. And although I don't believe this, people say I consciously try to come off as a mentally unstable sociopath who is not afraid to nuke another nation at a moment's notice in order to maintain long-term intimidation, allowing me and my party to maintain control of North Korea. And that is all I have to say about that.
On to our fifth question. How do you justify your rejection of liberalism to your people?
Well, that is a tricky question. You know, we do not let a lot of people into our country. We like the isolation and control to look after ourselves. So, to give the best answer, I guess I would have to say what the people don't know won't hurt them.
What do you mean by that?
If your country believes that it's free, being ruled with their best interests in mind, provided with housing, education, and food rations, they basically have everything they need.
Wow, you look after all that for your people? Sounds like a great place to live.
You know what they say, If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They know that if they follow the rules, they will be treated fairly. I will protect them from threats and negative influences from the West. As far as they know, they live in a land of abundance compared to the rest of the world.
Question 6. Do you think you will ever be removed from power?
Well, that's a tricky question. I would like to think that the people of North Korea will always want me as their leader. But I do know that shortly after I took over from my father, I was the target of an assassination attempt. Everybody knows if dictators remain in power for too long, they are usually assassinated or removed through violent opposition. So, if my people believe I am the best chance they have, I should be okay.
On to the next question. Is there anything... No. On to the next question. Is there any interesting information about yourself that you would like to share?
Yes. I loved Michael Jordan when I was younger. I had posters of him all over my room, and I had quite the Nike sneaker collection. I never met him, but Dennis Rodman has visited me on several occasions. I wear platform shoes to make me look taller, but it has played a toll on my ankles and has caused me to battle with gout most of my life.
Oh, that's interesting.
I have met U.S. President Donald Trump. We discussed whose nuclear button was bigger. I have a hipster-like haircut that is very popular here. If you want it, just ask for the ambition cut. And one day, I would like to meet Jackie Chan. I was also named Sexiest Man Alive on a satirical website. I also have a theme song called Footsteps. I start every day with this blasting in the palace. Here, let me play it for you. Oh, I love this song. Get ready to sing it with me.
Well, on that note, I think we have run out of time. Mr. Jung, I would like to thank you for answering our questions.
We didn't get to this up. You're supposed to wait till we start singing.
I know, but he didn't come.
That's why I said we should have shortened the front.
We've been waiting there forever.
Okay.